My beloved brothers and sisters, when the storm rages in your heart because of the pain caused by others, stay calm. When the world speaks against you with lies and insults, stay silent. Why? Because your silence is not weakness, it is strength. It is a testimony that you trust the one who sees all, hears all, and knows all, Allah. And when He handles matters, no injustice is left unpunished, and no tear is shed in vain. In life, we will all go through moments where people treat us unfairly. They may lie about us, spread rumors, accuse us falsely, or even try to humiliate us in public or in private. Sometimes these people are not strangers. They could be those we trusted the most, family members, close friends, or colleagues we thought had our back. And when it happens, it cuts deeper because we expect love from those close to us, not betrayal. But I want you to understand something very important. Just because no one else sees what is happening to you does not mean Allah does not see it. Just because people believe lies about you does not mean Allah doesn't know the truth. He knows it all. Every word said behind your back, every intention hidden in their heart, every tear that fell from your eyes when no one was around to notice. Allah sees it all. This is where your strength comes from, not from trying to prove your innocence to every person or fighting to defend your name. No. Your strength comes from the fact that your case is with the one who is never unjust. Your file is open with the Lord of the worlds. He is not forgetful. He is not unaware. Sometimes the biggest comfort is simply knowing Allah saw it. Even if no one else did, Allah heard that painful conversation. Allah saw that betrayal. Allah witnessed the injustice, and He is not just a witness, He is the most just. When we think of justice, we often want it right now. We want immediate results. We want those who hurt us to feel the pain they gave us. But Allah in His wisdom may delay justice, not because He has forgotten, but because He is giving them time to return. Sometimes He allows the wrongdoer to climb higher, to feel comfortable, only to humble them in a way they never imagined. Allah does not rush. He knows the perfect time. And while He is giving them time to change, He is also giving you time to grow, to rise, and to purify your heart. That pain you feel, the heaviness in your chest, the silent prayers you make with trembling lips and wet eyes, it is not lost fact. It is so valuable that the Prophet said, no pain or grief afflicts a believer, not even the prick of a thorn, except that Allah removes sins through it. So imagine the reward when you are hurt not by accident but deliberately, and still you choose silence, still you choose dignity, still you choose sabr. Imagine how beloved you are to Allah in that moment. You could have screamed, you could have retaliated, you could have exposed them. But you didn't. Why? Because you know Allah knows. That's all you needed to remember. You see, sometimes Allah hides the truth from the world not to punish you, but to elevate you. Because if everyone knew what you were going through, they would praise you, and you might become arrogant. But when Allah hides your pain and knows your innocence, then praises you in the unseen, elevates your rank in the heavens, and rewards you in ways that people can't even see. What more could you ask for? Would you prefer the praise of people or the recognition from the Creator of people? People may be fooled by lies. They may believe gossip. They may turn away from you, not because you are wrong, but because they don't know the truth. Don't let their ignorance distract you. Keep your focus on Allah. When you live your life with that awareness that Allah is watching, you will speak less and trust more. You will argue less and forgive more. You will seek justice from Him, not from your emotions. It's easy to respond when someone insults you. It's tempting to clear your name when someone lies about you. But sometimes, silence is not weakness. It is a powerful form of trust. It is you saying, "Alright, Allah, I don't need the world to know." You know? And that is enough for me. That level of faith is not small, it's massive. That's what tawakkul is. Reliance, not on your fists, not on your tongue, not on your influence. Now, I'm Allah, the most just. Now, my beloved, let me tell you something deeper. When you remain silent in the face of falsehood and insult, not because you are afraid, but because you have submitted the matter to Allah, you are following the example of the Prophet Muhammad. When he was mocked in Mecca, when they called him a liar, a magician, a madman, he could have cursed them. He could have asked Allah to destroy them. But what did he do? He stayed focused. He kept delivering the message. He kept his character pure. He kept his heart clean. And that is the real victory. Anyone can retaliate. Anyone can shout. But not everyone can remain silent for the sake of Allah. Not everyone can protect their tongue. Not everyone can control their ego. That requires training of the heart. That requires maturity in faith. You are not silent because you don't have a voice. You are silent because your voice is heard in the heavens. Your doers are being written. Your tears are being counted. And on the day it is being witnessed. And on the day of judgment, every false word spoken about you will be accounted for. Every injustice you endured with patience will shine like light on your record. And when the scales are placed, you will see the reward of every moment you held back for Allah's sake. Now this brings us to a question many people struggle with. They say, when I feel so weak, when I stay silent, shouldn't I defend myself? And the answer is yes. Islam allows you to defend yourself, to speak the truth, to stand for your rights. But when speaking will cause more harm than good, when replying would only feed the fire, when your words will not be heard but twisted, then silence becomes wiser. Because in that moment, your trust shifts from the courtroom of people to the courtroom of Allah. And in His court, no evidence is hidden, no detail is missed, no bribe is accepted. He is the judge who knows the intentions behind every word. Sometimes your silence becomes your strongest statement. It confuses the oppressor. It unsettles the liar. It humbles the arrogant because they expect you to fight back. But instead you rise above. And this rise, my dear brothers and sisters, is not a worldly rise. Allah is lifting you. He is polishing you. He is removing the layers of pride, anger, revenge, and replacing them with sabr, wisdom and peace. When you choose to keep silent, you are choosing to let Allah fight your battles. And Allah, when He defends someone, no enemy can stand against Him. Think about the story of Yusuf. His own brothers betrayed him, threw him into a well, lied to their father years past. Yusuf could have lived in bitterness, but he stayed silent. He relied on Allah. And look at how Allah elevated him from a prisoner to a minister, from a slave to a leader. And when he finally confronted his brothers, he didn't take revenge. He forgave. He said, no blame will there be upon you today. Allah will forgive you. Subhanallah, what strength, what dignity, and where did it come from? From patience, from trust, from choosing silence over retaliation. That is your path too. When you are betrayed, lied about, hurt, don't let it turn you into someone bitter. Let it push you closer to Allah. Let it cleanse your heart. Every hardship is either a punishment or a purification. For the believer, it is always a purification. So when they hurt you, and you choose to remain silent for Allah's sake, know that He is purifying you. He is raising your rank. He is making space in your heart for something better. People may think silence is weakness, but we know in the eyes of Allah, silence at the right time is a form of power. It is wisdom. The Prophet said, whoever believes in Allah and the last day should speak good or remain silent. That means sometimes silence is better than truth if the truth will harm. Silence becomes an act of worship. Because you're not holding back for fear, you're holding back for faith. In life, when we go through pain, we begin to wonder if anyone really understands what we're going through. Especially when the hurt is deep, when the people we trusted turn their backs on us, when we are spoken about unjustly, when our character is attacked, or when lies are spread about us, our hearts feel crushed. We ask ourselves, we wonder whether anyone even knows the truth. But I want to remind you with love that every single ounce of your pain is not only known by Allah, but recorded by Him. Allah never overlooks the hurt of the innocent. He never ignores the tears of the oppressed. When you are wronged and you turn to Him in silence and in pain, He is closer to you than ever before. Sometimes we feel like the world has turned against us. Friends become distant. Family becomes cold. The people who used to call you with love now look at you with suspicion. You feel isolated, abandoned, misunderstood. But remember, your pain is not invisible. Even if no one acknowledges it, Allah does. Not only does He acknowledge it, He preserves it. He records every tear, every sigh, every restless night. Every time you bit your tongue to avoid saying something hurtful in return. Every time you chose silence over revenge. Every time you held back your anger for His sake. It's all being written by the angels on your right. In fact, sometimes the pain you go through becomes the reason for your greatest spiritual breakthrough. Allah allows certain people to hurt us, not because He wants to punish us, but because He wants to elevate us. He wants to remove from our hearts the attachment to this world and attach us more firmly to Him. That's why the Prophet has said that no fatigue, illness, grief, sorrow, or even a thorn that pricks a believer occurs, except that Allah expiates some of his sins through it. Imagine a single thorn, a prick, something so small, and yet it wipes away your sins. Then what about betrayal? What about humiliation? What about being falsely accused? Imagine the reward for bearing that with patience. Allah doesn't just remove sins from your record. He replaces them with hasanat, good deeds, because you chose to trust Him in your moment of weakness. Many people ask, but why does Allah let this happen? Why doesn't He stop people from hurting me? And the answer is, my dear brothers and sisters, Sometimes Allah allows someone to break your heart just to show you that He alone can heal it. He allows you to feel let down by the people around you so that you can finally recognize who never lets you down, Him. The pain you feel is not a sign that Allah is far from you. Often it's the opposite. That pain is a sign that Allah wants you to come closer, that He wants you to lift your hands and call on Him, to cry to Him, to speak to Him directly. Maybe you wouldn't have called on Him otherwise. And what a beautiful relationship that becomes when you start speaking to Allah, not out of ritual, but out of need. When your dua is no longer robotic, but full of sincerity. When your sujood is no longer rushed, but full of tears. That is a connection many people never experience. And sometimes it is only born out of pain. So never think that the pain was wasted. Never think that Allah ignored it. Sometimes your biggest heartbreak becomes the doorway to your biggest blessing. And those who hurt you, they may think they've gotten away with it. They may walk around with arrogance, confident that no one knows what they did or that people believe their lies. But Allah knows, Allah sees, and Allah says in the Qur'an, do not think that Allah is unaware of what the wrongdoers do. He only delays them until a day when eyes will stare high in horror. So Surah Ibrahim 42. Allah delays, not because He is unjust, but because His plan is bigger. His justice is more complete than anything you or I can arrange. Sometimes He gives the wrongdoer time to repent, time to return. But if they do not return, rest assured that Allah will deal with them in a way that is beyond anything we can imagine. You see, we often want justice now. We want people to apologize, to be exposed, to be humiliated like they humiliated us. But Allah's justice is not just about satisfying your ego. It is about restoring your dignity in the best and most complete way. Sometimes that justice will come in this world. And sometimes Allah saves it for the day of judgment when everything is laid bare. On that day, nothing will be hidden. Every word, every glance, every thought will be exposed. And you will be compensated not only for what was done to you, but for how you responded. If you responded with sabr, with silence, with forgiveness, you will find mountains of reward awaiting you. If you bore the pain without turning bitter, you will be honored in ways this world could never offer. And make no mistake, those who hurt others will be held accountable. Allah's mercy is vast, but His justice is certain. He gives time, but He never forgets. Some people might think that because the consequences didn't come immediately, they are safe. But this is only Allah's way of giving them space to return. They don't take that opportunity, then Allah will humble them in a way that is far more powerful than any humiliation we could cause them. Let me remind you of something profound. When you are wronged and you hold back from revenge, not out of fear, but out of faith, you are actually placing yourself under the special protection of Allah. Allah becomes your defender, and no one defends like Allah. Think of how He defended the honor of Maryam's Mary when people accused her of wrongdoing. She didn't speak. She didn't argue. She simply pointed to the child, and Allah made the baby speak. That was not just a miracle, it was a lesson. A lesson that sometimes your silence allows Allah to speak on your behalf. Your silence opens the door for Allah to defend you in ways you never imagined. Now, I want to address something that many people struggle with when they are wrong. The desire to take matters into their own hands, to seek revenge, to make the other person feel the same pain. It's a natural feeling. We are human. But Islam teaches us something higher. Allah says in the Quran, the recompense for an evil is an evil like it. But whoever pardons and makes reconciliation, his reward is with Allah. Surah Ash-Shura 40 Subhanallah. Allah is telling us, yes, you can take revenge. It is allowed. But if you forgive, if you let it go for the sake of Allah, then He will reward you. And when Allah rewards you, it's never small, it's never equal. It's always multiplied. Think about that for a moment. When you let go of the desire to hurt the one who hurt you, you're not losing, you're winning. You're choosing something greater. You're choosing Allah over your anger. And in return, Allah chooses to elevate you. Sometimes in ways you can see, and sometimes in ways only He knows. And when Allah elevates someone, no one can bring them down. Next time someone wrongs you, don't just think of justice. Think of opportunity. This is an opportunity for your rank with Allah to rise. This is an opportunity to clean your heart, to deepen your trust in Him, to earn reward that you couldn't earn through prayer or fasting. Sometimes the pain that someone caused you becomes your path to Jannah, if you respond with patience and faith. Let me remind you of a story. When Abu Bakr as-Siddiq found out that a relative he had been financially supporting was involved in spreading slander about his daughter Aisha, naturally he stopped supporting that person. But Allah revealed an ayah commanding him to forgive. Allah said, let them pardon and overlook. Would you not love for Allah to forgive you? As Surah An-Nur 22. Subhanallah, look at the standard Allah sets. He reminds us that if we want His forgiveness, we must be willing to forgive others, even when they hurt us deeply. Abu Bakr, E means of your, upon hearing that verse, immediately resumed his support and forgave the man. Why? Because he understood something we all need to understand. The one who forgives for Allah's sake will be forgiven by Allah Himself. When people hurt us, when they wrong us, speak ill about us, betray our trust, or humiliate us publicly or privately, the first reaction many of us have is the desire to prove them wrong, to fix our image in front of others, to clear our name, to see them fall, to see them taste the pain we felt. It's a very human reaction. It's emotional. It's natural. But the beauty of Islam is that it teaches us not to be slaves to our emotions. Islam does not ask you to suppress your feelings. No. Islam teaches you how to rise above your feelings and respond in a way that is noble, in a way that protects your dignity, and most importantly, in a way that pleases Allah. When someone tries to hurt you, you have two choices. You can become consumed by the wrong they did to you, or you can focus on becoming a better version of yourself. You can choose to fight their fire with fire, or you can walk away and grow into someone who is too busy with your own improvement to engage in petty battles. You can choose revenge, or you can choose growth. And those who choose growth always win, because their focus remains on what matters. Their journey is with Allah, not with people. Their energy is spent on healing, on building, on progressing, not on destroying others. It's very easy to get stuck in a cycle of bitterness. You think about what they did to you over and over again. You replay their words in your head. You go through imaginary conversations where you say all the things you wish you had said. You imagine their downfall. You anticipate their regret. And slowly, without realizing it, your life becomes about them. Not about you, not about your relationship with Allah, but about them. And that is one of the greatest tragedies of pain. It can distract you from your own path. Shaitan loves this. He loves it when your heart is filled with resentment. He loves it when you're so focused on what others have done to you that you stop focusing on what Allah is offering you. He whispers to you, don't forget what they did. Don't forgive them, make them pay. Watch them suffer. But those are not the whispers of healing. Those are the whispers of destruction. Because the more you fixate on someone else's downfall, the more you fall yourself. Not in public perhaps, but spiritually, emotionally, you lose peace. You lose clarity. You lose yourself. Allah wants more for you. He wants you to rise. He wants you to grow so much that their actions no longer shake you. He wants you to become so connected to Him that the noise of people fades. So busy in building your character, improving your prayers, purifying your heart, serving others, helping the needy, learning the Qur'an, making da'kah, that you simply don't have time to hate. You don't have time to seek revenge. Your hands are full of work that matters, full of goals that bring you closer to Allah, full of dreams that elevate your dunya and akhirah. That's the mindset of a believer. We are not here to chase people. We are here to chase the pleasure of Allah. And anyone or anything that distracts us from that chase is not worth our energy. There's a beautiful principle in Islam. Whoever leaves something for the sake of Allah, Allah replaces it with something better. This applies to sins, of course. When it also applies to emotions. When you leave revenge for the sake of Allah, He will give you peace. When you let go of grudges for the sake of Allah, He will give you strength. When you stop worrying about those who tried to destroy you and instead focus on becoming someone better, Allah will raise you higher than they ever imagined. Look around you. Some of the most successful people, spiritually and even materially, are those who didn't waste time on negativity. They were hurt, they were betrayed. But instead of seeking to get even, they rose above. They focused on becoming better versions of themselves. They kept moving forward, and Allah honored them. Sometimes in ways the world can see, and sometimes in ways that only they and Allah know. Their hearts are at peace. Their sleep is uninterrupted. Their smiles are real. Because they are not carrying the weight of hatred. Hating someone is heavy. Holding a grudge is exhausting. Wanting revenge every day is a prison you put yourself in. And many people live in that prison without realizing it. Their hearts are shackled by memories of what someone said or did years ago. Their joy is controlled by someone else's downfall. Their happiness depends on someone else being miserable. But a believer is free. A believer doesn't allow another human being to control their heart like that. The Prophet Muhammad taught us that strength is not in how loud you are or how physically powerful you may be. He said, the strong person is not the one who can overpower others in wrestling, Rather, the strong person is the one who can control himself when angry. That's real strength. To be able to feel angry but not act on it in a destructive way. To feel hurt but not to hurt back. To feel insulted but to remain dignified. And you know what happens when you respond with grace? When you rise above the insult, when you don't fall into the pit of revenge, people notice. More importantly, Allah notices. And He places a special nur light in your heart. That light cannot be faked. It's a glow that comes from inner peace. A glow that only those who have truly forgiven, truly let go, and truly trusted Allah can carry. Even in the stories of the prophets, this lesson is repeated again and again. Look at Yusuf in Dior Fifi. He was wronged in ways most of us cannot imagine, thrown in a well by his brothers, sold into slavery, accused of a crime he didn't commit, imprisoned unjustly. But when he was finally in a position of power and he could have taken revenge, he didn't. He chose forgiveness, not because his pain wasn't real, but because his focus was greater than his pain, his vision was higher than his anger. He didn't want to win a personal war, he wanted to win with Allah. And that's exactly what happened. Allah raised him, honored him, made him a minister, reunited him with his family. That's what Allah does for those who focus on growth. Let's be honest, sometimes our obsession with someone else's downfall says more about us than about them. It shows we've lost direction. It shows our heart is too attached to the wrong things, and that's dangerous because life is short. Every breath we take is one less breath we have. Every day that passes is a day closer to our grave. Do you really want to spend your precious time chasing someone else's collapse? Or do you want to spend it building something meaningful, something eternal? Remember this, Allah does not forget. If someone truly wronged you, if they broke your heart, if they lied, if they humiliated you, Allah saw it, He will take care of it. Maybe not today, maybe not next week, but when He handles it, it will be complete, perfect. Just in the meantime, your job is not to monitor them. Your job is to monitor yourself, to guard your tongue, to protect your heart, to check your intentions, to increase in worship, to forgive not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. This is not easy. No one is saying it's easy. Forgiveness, rising above, staying focused on growth, these are not easy tasks.